Welcome to Red Light, Green Light, the podcast where top leaders in science, tech, pharma, finance, and innovation open up and get real. You are in the right place. You're about to hear personal stories from key moments of their career arcs and how they've struggled and succeeded when it comes to moving audiences from the red light of risk to the green light of go. We've got an exceptional invite-only lineup of leaders who've been in the room and at the table when stakes were high, decisions were hard, and their stories had to land. From the virtual room to the boardroom, they share what worked, what didn't, and how they paved a path to green lights by communicating authentically through strategic stories. I want to thank you for joining me today. Let's jump in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Perspectives Under Pressure. This is a quick, bite-sized podcast that I bring to you, just me and you. It's part of our Red Light, Green Light podcast flow. And today, it's just me and you talking about a very popular topic, AI and speech writing. And should you do it or should you not? There are many examples that have come my way, both with clients and as an audience member when I was sitting in the audience, observing AI unfold in front of me, and others that I've read about. And I thought it would be appropriate today to tell you some of the warning lights that come with using AI for your script writing. And I'm just going to riff today. I haven't prepared anything, but telling a couple of examples might be helpful. And, I understand that AI is useful on so many levels to do so many things. I use it for spell check and sometimes finding words that rhyme or, looking through data or coming up with names of podcasts and episodes that we might share with you. I've used it to sketch agenda and flow for certain things, and I've used it to learn and research. So many uses, and I know all of you do the same thing. There is a real warning to your credibility, however, when it comes to taking on AI as your main anchor for presentations that you are bringing to stakeholder audiences that you want to get from the red light of risk about your proposition or idea to the green light of go. The number one thing that your audiences crave from you is you. The number one thing your audiences crave when they sit down to watch you present or sit down to listen to your proposition or argument is you, authentically, credibly you. And the danger of using AI to do a lot of your creative work is numerous fold. Okay, number one, you can hear AI, right? We've gotten good at identifying what looks like AI in social media, the long dashes, the juxtapositions, this, not that. If there's many different signals that AI has been part of the creative process in posts, articles, and now even presentations and events. And this is a huge warning to all of you listening to stay away from using it too much and for too much of your creative process, okay? I was at an event once, sitting in the audience, and clearly observed every image on the screen. It was kind of like this awards celebratory event, so it wasn't like a pitch event or so it wasn't super high stakes, but the thumbprint of AI was so easy to identify. All the images on the slide decks were AI generated, and speakers came up with their phones, tablets, and read their scripts, a script from their phone and whatnot. And it was just so clear that they had generated the script through AI and then just stood there to read it to us. And I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, to be honest. It was very unsettling and just kind of eerie because I'm sitting there going, I just know these folks haven't thought of these things, have probably not read that piece of poetry they're reading from that relates to their idea. It just came to them and they thought it would be good, right?
A quick pause to let you know, if you love audiobooks, I've got good news. My best-selling book, Red Light, Green Light, is now available on Spotify and wherever you get your audiobooks. Now, back to the show.
So this original creation of your thoughts is at risk if we lean too heavily on AI. And it is going to damage your credibility in front of the audiences of stakeholders you most want to earn credibility from. Okay, so number one, authenticity and diminishing credibility for yourself. Number two, your own connection to your material diminishes because you didn't think of the idea that you're sharing about. Now, there's a gray line there, right? As far as, well, hey, I asked it for 6 analogies and I'm choosing this one, and then I'm taking that analogy and personalizing it and writing my own words and sentences and phrases around that. That's better than just choosing something blindly that doesn't have any connection to you. But, we are really entering a stage of presentations and leadership and executive communications that is in danger if we aren't thinking of the ideas. And if we aren't excited about the ideas we've created, and ideally they have a personal connection to us, because as I said at the beginning, our audiences want us. Like when you and I are in this conversation, or when you're listening to me, you want to hear me, my ideas, my unique position on something, the way that I see the world as Cindy Skalicky. And I want to hear your ideas and your personal storylines, your hearkening back to an old career story, the way you see the world and the way you see your product, idea, proposition, or recommendation that you're going to be giving. And when we invite AI too much in, we really risk our own creativity, and that hampers our ability to be passionate about the idea we are presenting about. So if you go through the process and ask AI to write a script because you've inserted a slide deck, for example, and said, write me a script for slides 1 through 5. AI has no idea who you are, what you bring to the table. And even if you've preloaded it with all of your ideas and tone, it's just a machine that's regurgitating things that are likely to please you when you read it, right? We know it has a positivity bias that doesn't really help us. And so you throw some things at it, but it doesn't know your business context the way that you do, your business unit's previous pitfalls or successes, or the people on your team you might want to mention and bring in. And one of the main areas, I just spoke with a leader in the last month or so who was on a team of speakers where AI was introduced to do some of the early scripting. Thank goodness the team abandoned ship and ended up with fantastic results with that meeting. However, what I heard for feedback made so much sense. Cindy, it was too many words to say something that could have been said shorter. It was a lot of explaining in the script. The sentences were really long. This is something I constantly share with leaders. Shorten your sentences. Make sure that they are punchy and easy to digest and hold on to for your audience, right? Because writing is very different than speaking. And the other thing that the person shared was specificity, right? Wasn't there. Substance wasn't there. Specific examples wasn't there. And you might tell me, oh, well, I'll just add those, Cindy. And that's great. You can, and you should. However, the time-saving nature, it might not really exist. There is so much that folks often need to do to go backwards through the script and through their slides to fix what AI did not get right. I mean, we have all been in those AI bots where you're like, here, please edit this email. And then it's like, bloop, gives you an answer back. And you're like, no, I don't like that. When you start fighting with the AI bot, right? And you spend 30 minutes on an email that if you had just sat down, or if I had just sat down and written myself, it would have been better and faster, right?
Quick station break, listeners. If your team is ready to level up its strategic storytelling, I would love to meet you and hear your story. Shoot me a connection request at LinkedIn or via email, and we'll set up time to chat. Now, back to the show.
So it's really important to also, just be mindful of the scripting itself and how it could lead you astray with a lack, right, of knowledge about your own business unit, your own ideas, of your people on your team, and prevent you from seeing some of the short stories, analogies, or metaphors that live in your team, in yourself, and in your business that you could come up with. I wouldn't say never use AI for any kind of presentation skills ever. I mean, I'd like to say that, but I know all of you are dabbling in it. And so there might be other prompts that you could share with it to give you some guidance. And we want to protect that with everything that we have, because again, our audiences are craving us, the real people behind the message. And with AI coming in, there's just a tremendous amount of red light risk that I wanted to share with you today so you're all aware and so that you can truly be a master of your unique message for your audiences and getting them to the green light of go from that red light of risk. So I'm Cindy Skalicky. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week with another fantastic guest. Until then, get out there, go grab my book. It is now available on audiobook. Get your next audience from the red light of risk to the green light of go. Bye-bye, everybody.